Alright, so for this video, I'm gonna do some market analysis on individual stocks in both the US and China. But of course, for China stocks, it would be those that are priced in USD. Okay, so let's start off with Tesla. This is the monthly chart for Tesla. Okay, um, I believe the draw is this swing high here, and at the same time it's nicely correlated with this order block, the mean threshold of this order block. Okay, I want to see what and how it trades above this area. Currently we're in the month of August, and typically in August you have a bullish first half and bearish second half. So I am anticipating that to happen as we have quite a huge inefficiency down below, especially on the monthly time frame. And if you zoom out, if you zoom in to the weekly time frame, we have lots of inefficiencies down here. So I would much prefer price to retrace back into this area here, from this swing low to this swing high. I would love for price to go below equilibrium, and then the PD arrays that are present below is this breaker here and this fair value gap or the volume imbalance. Okay, so that is what I'm looking at for Tesla, and then preferably does not take out this high before it comes down. So I would still prefer to see something like this, right? I want these highs to be kept intact until it retraces. So to me, that's a higher probability, and at the same time, there is a swing low here, so it's like a turtle soup sell. Turtle soup long. Okay, similarly as here, right? Same thing. So I'm expecting that to happen for Tesla, right? Ultimately, I want to see how far can it reach above the all-time highs, and I would have my fourth, no, this is the 2.5 standard deviation over here, using this swing low to this swing high. Okay, so this would be 2.5 above the all-time highs, right? So I would be interested in this area here if it was to take out the all-time highs, right? So let the plane pass. All right, so let's move on to the next stock. We have Palantir. So Palantir reaching up into premium fair value gap right here, closing above the consequent encroachment. So I believe it's gonna extend into this fair value gap right here, and over here we have all the block swing high. Okay, whether it has a strong reaction going down before going back up, that is likely, but it depends. All right, because we have 30 days. This is a monthly candle, so 30 days, lots of things can happen in the 30 days, but preferably I would like to see some retracement into this fair value gap here, right? 13.5 to attack the premium fair value gap. Okay, on the weekly time frame, same thing with Tesla. We have lots of inefficiencies here that were left untagged. We even have a breaker here and a balanced price range here as well, and coupled with a fair value gap here. So swing low here, much prefer it to go lower first, but in a case whereby August plays out bullish first half, then we're gonna attack the inefficiencies here, and then we will see some form of retracements in second half of August into September slash October, where we usually find the bottom for stocks and equities in general. Okay, so that is what I'm anticipating, right, for Palantir. Not sure if it wants to attack this high here into this liquidity void, right? Still quite far away, so I'm not gonna focus here first. I will just focus in this area. This is a breaker as well, so expecting some form of reaction within this area here. Okay, so this is Palantir. Now let's move on to Meta. Meta really bullish price action here, right? I think the next strong liquidity would be the opening price of this propulsion order block. Okay, preferably I do not want to see the mean threshold traded through, right? You can trade to it and like through meaning in the closing basis. Okay, I do not want to see price starts to close above the mean threshold of this monthly order block, right? So um, looking for some sort of retracements, preferably into back into this balanced price range. Okay, and I want to see it do something like this. Okay, that is what I'm anticipating for the rest of the year. Okay, for the rest of the year. So moving on to Amazon. All right, so for Amazon, we have this equal lows down here. Okay, I'm very interested in the equal lows. I would like to see if price would want to take out the all-time highs first, or maybe just this swing high would be enough. Okay, we are going to trade into the balanced price range, and at the same time we have a proportion on the block right here as well. So I've noted down the opening price of this order block, and same thing as Meta. I don't want to see the mean threshold of the proportion block traded through on a closing basis. Okay, so that's my requirement for it to retrace lower for a entry higher if that's what it wants to do. Okay, so far order flow it's bullish, and this swing high it's very high probability the next target. Okay, and other than that, second requirement would be that price not closing above the balanced price range. Okay, if price starts to close above the balanced price range, then we will be looking at the equal highs above here. Okay, so that is for Amazon, right? So let's move on into the wait, I think there's one more, Nvidia. Right, so far for Nvidia, target still stands at 500, right, using the order block. Okay, from swing low to swing high, it's around there, right? It's either 500 or 531. Okay, if I could just use this, it's around the same area as well for 485. So I am looking at this as a form of the top. Okay, I'm not trying to call it, but looking for a possibility of that happening, right? On the weekly chart, same thing here. It's closing above the 2.5, as you can see. 422.75, it's actually 2.5 standard deviation. So let me just find that. Um, can't seem to find it, but from here, yes, you can see this is the 2.5. It's closing above, so we're gonna reach into the fourth standard deviation right here. So that's what I'm using for Nvidia, right? Which means that I'm bullish till 537. It's been this target since it closes above here, right? This area here, or maybe even this area. Okay, this candle was the one um, that confirmed the 500. Okay, the 500 target, right? So that's for Nvidia. Still slightly more upside, and I think now we move on to Chinese stocks. Okay, let's start off with new. So for new, I'm looking at this fair value gap right here. Not sure if it wants to reach into here, but on the 3-month chart, quarterly chart, we do have a 3-month fair value gap right here and over here as well. So chances of it reaching up into this area is quite high. Um, Using the uh, dealing range, 50% would be here. Okay, so if you're looking for shorts, definitely you want to short in premium, right? And if you are looking at this swing high here to swing high to swing low, it's even higher. So current dealing range that we're in is right here. So I will use this as to indicate premium and discount. Okay, so for new, I think this fair value gap is very likely to be traded through. Okay, swing lows taken, and then the swing high is taken as well. So you have some sort of a breaker formation inside this area here. Maybe on a weekly chart's clearer, but I'm not going to zoom in. Okay, so these swing highs are suspects, and above the swing high we have a inefficiency very nicely placed. So I think this would be the target for new. Okay, it's all based on this month's closure. Okay, closing above this fair value gap that was once used to send the price lower below a swing low. Okay, so this becomes a um, balanced price range if price can find support here, right? So moving on to the next one would be Baba. Baba. All right, so finally we have a monthly closure above this volume imbalance here. So far, it's a seek and destroy profile. I'm not quite interested in it, but we have very nice levels above, right? So these two levels are actually the quarterly fair value gaps, right? So if you're, of course, if you're bearish, you would like to short in this area, right? To this equal lows down here, okay? Equal lows. So best shorting price would be here, this fair value gap here, coupled with the order block. Okay, but we have this fair value gap with the breaker. So I am not too sure if it's gonna give a reaction of this area, but I think this would be the best. The A plus setup is right here. Okay, in my opinion, it's here. Okay, so heading down into the weekly, if you were gonna get the price movements, as I have mentioned before, in August heading into September, October, then I would like to see a return back into this balanced price range. Okay, and then I think this small little inefficiency here coupled with this order block, that's a very nice confluence, right? Other than that, we could also use this as a balanced price range, but as you can see, price not really respecting it, more respecting what we have on the monthly chart. So I would prefer to use that. But of course, if the wick um, closes above this high here, then we do have a fair value gap here as well. But I don't really like the price action here. Okay, obvious swing highs, suspects swing highs are here. We have relatively equal highs here. Okay, and above the equal highs, inefficiencies, quite a huge one on the weekly time frame. So I'll be looking forward to that. So that is for Baba. Let's move on to JD. So JD, similarly, monthly chart, we have, what is this? Okay, so the monthly chart, we have this volume imbalance here. It's probably going to draw into that. And above that, we have this inefficiency here. Okay, relative equal highs above here. All right, we shall see if it wants to close above the consequent encroachment of this fair value gap? And if so, I would think that this highs are next. But other than that, I'm still looking for lower prices on JD. We do have relative equal lows down here, this swing low and this swing low here. Okay, so this would be interesting to watch, right? So moving on, we have what else? Is there anything else? Let's take a look at Tencent. What's the code for that? Ten Tencent? No, THC. Why? Tencent. Hmm. Can't find the one. Yep, over here. So for Tencent, very nice here. Okay, I'm still looking for this lows to be tagged. Okay, this is a old drawing. Just remove it. I'm gonna redraw everything here. So we have relative equal lows here. Okay, we have this other block here. Okay, so let me just let's hop into the 3 month chart. Right. So we have a fair value gap here. Here. This would be the A plus setup for Tencent shorts. Okay. Swing high taken here. Market structure shifted bearish here, taking out the swing low, but it did not close below here. So the breaker is not validated. So right now, the only short entry that you want to consider would be a fair value gap in premium. So that would be above here. So zooming into the 1 month time frame, that would be here. I think the swing high would be the next target for Tencent, right? Very nice. Shifting market shifted bullish here, right, at this swing high, and then we have a fair value gap coupled with a order block. So price came into this area here, found some support obviously, and right now it's it's kind of sloppy here. As you can see, the closure is not really neat, but okay. So seeing some form of reaction right here, I think this is going to make a push higher to take out this high here, right? But obviously, because of the August September movement, I anticipate some form of a retracement into this area here. It still does not invalidate the bullish idea, okay? So right here as well. Right. So in what case would price let's just see. Yeah, it does not invalidate if it comes down here, right? But more preferably, you want to see price run from here because as you can see right here, this is a balanced price range already. This bearish fair value gap. So I would like to see price use this fair value gap to take price higher. Okay. All right. Other than that, it's quite sloppy, but the 3 month candles looks really nice. Okay, so that's for Tencent. I'm focused on this fair value gap into this low here. Okay, that's my focus for Tencent. The chart looks really nice. So yeah, and I think that's it for this video. Right, I hope you enjoyed it. 20 minutes in, and if you find any value, do leave a like, or if you have any questions, do leave a comment. All right, let me just show you something interesting on Baba before I go. So If you take a look closely at the weekly chart on BABA, swing low taken, and then a swing high is formed here. Okay, market shifted bullish here. If you check the lows of this candle, it would be right exactly the mean threshold of this order block. Okay, and then that's where the price reacted aggressively from. Okay, because right here we have a shift in market structure. Okay, after taking out the swing low here and here, relative equal lows taken out over here, shifted bullish, price coming back down into the mean threshold using the fibs, it's in discount. Okay, and then price rallied away. So that's a very nice price action here, but it's sloppy. Okay, because if you can see the closure here, it's closing below this volume balance. It's giving mixed signals here, so don't really like this type of price action, but overall it's really nice. I think if you are playing stocks or if you're trading stocks, I think it's reasonable to expect um, some form of sloppiness in delivery. Okay, I'm not too sure why, but from my experience, that seems to be the case. But ultimately, they are still precise in the very last, let's what do you call it? Last wall of defense. Okay, same thing if you look at it on the monthly chart. Right here, you have a shift in market structure here after taking out this low. Okay, because it traded through this order block here. If it would have been continuously bearish, then this order block should hold the price down. But the fact that it traded through, closing above the mean threshold of this order block here, this monthly bullish order block, when you draw out the opening price, very nice here. Okay. The last area of defense was the mean threshold of the monthly order block right here. Okay, but seems like it doesn't need to come down here. And this order block as well, this bearish order block, very nicely traded too. Okay, so yeah, for stocks, higher time frame wise, it's much more precise, but then at the same time, they can be very sloppy in the lower time frames. Okay, lower time frames meaning daily to weekly. Okay, because they move with lots of gaps on intraday, so can't really I can't really read it properly, right? So yeah, and that's all. I'm signing out right now, and I'll see you in the London session silver bullet later on at 3 to 4 if nothing comes up. Okay, right.